Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I think we should make that permanent. So Ben and I have a television, monitor, just a TV.
They just call them TVs.
It's a TV.
Have for some 60 or 70 years now.
Yeah, television works.
In the studio. And
I don't know how to describe it exactly.
Sometimes it generates some commentary on the show. We used to talk about Pitt McAfee a lot when we were in the midday because he happened to be on every day and was on mute. And it's not a very entertaining show to watch on mute, but I've never actually heard it. I've seen it a million times, never heard it. Now we get like NBA Today and NFL whatever. And Kendrick Perkins is on our TV all the time, as he is right now. And he just looks like a Ken to me.
Well, he shaved his mustache and kept the beard, which is weird.
He just looks like, I don't know, he looks like a Ken. Ken Perkins. I think that's my latest nickname.
Okay.
See what Ken's running his mouth about.
Real
there.
creative there.
I think so. Yeah, he just looks like, he looks more like a Ken. I don't know what a Ken looks like. What does a Karen look like?
You mean Karen, like the aggressive adult?
I have.
Or you mean actual, are you asking about that without the context of Karen meaning something different now?
That's what I'm saying. People are saying that's a real Karen. Well, what does that even look like? I have 2 Karens in my circle, and they don't look anything alike.
Okay.
But what does a Ken look like? I think he looks like a Ken.
Are you
look like a Ben.
Are you saying that the women in your life are Karens or their actual name is Karen?
Their name is Karen.
My wife, she's a real Karen.
She's a real Karen. Why do you say that? Her name's Karen. Oh, that's different than what most people are saying. I don't think Jake knows what a Karen is.
No, I do. My wife is not a Karen, but she does have one Karen trait.
I'm sure she's glad that you clarified.
No, she's not. But
she has a Karen friend.
Karen trait. She has one Karen trait. She will send a steak back, which I'm never comfortable with. I'll just eat it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to send. I never send anything back.
She sends it back because it's too rare?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's really polite about it, but she'll send it back. Have you ever sent a steak back?
I've not.
Christian?
No. Yeah. I worked in a restaurant. I've seen what they do.
I know.
I think, truthfully, most people are okay throwing it back on the flat top for a few minutes if you have to.
It's one thing to cook it a little longer. You can't uncook it, though.
Correct. And if I give you exactly what you asked for, and then you want something different and pretended that what you were asking for is normal and what I did was wrong, that's a mistake.
And she, every time she does it, she prefaces it with what Christian just said. She says, I know you guys underdo it a little bit because you can correct it, and is very nice about it, but she will do it.
That's not even Karen-like, honestly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Her name's not even Karen.
Well, I know, but it's
Sure.
All right. Top 3 stories of the day, KSLSports.com. Reminder, John Marino signed a big extension. He's going to be on the show at 3, so stay tuned for that. Top 3 stories brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, last offseason, these sports books all seem to put the Jazz win total around 18 wins. We knew the Jazz were going to hammer the over.
Easy money.
This year, sitting around 35, 36 wins. What do you guys think? Over? Under?
This is harder than last year for me. And I don't care about betting lines because I don't bet. But I actually don't know how teams are going to respond to the new tanking rules. I don't know if teams know how they're going to respond to the new tanking rules with the new lottery system. And I assumed and had been assured that Walker Kessler was going to be back with the Jazz, and he's not. So you have a starting rotation, or a center rotation at least, that will feature some makeup of Yusuf Nurkic, Jackson Hayes, maybe Mo Bamba, though I don't think he has any guaranteed money really on his deal, or Kyle Filipowski, and I don't know how many games you win with that as your at 5.
Mm-hmm.
And still, 35 is a low number.
I am not a gambler,
Mm-hmm.
so we are not handing out gambling advice. But I will say this: that I hate. This is an example of why I do not like that people think that lines and all that stuff is a prediction. It is not a prediction. I make the joke, it's the Magic Vegas predicting wizard. It is not a prediction. Now, listen, what it is balancing bettors and money on both sides. The idea is to get the 10% juice. The betting public has no idea how good or bad the Jazz were last year.
Mm-hmm.
No clue.
Right.
So a bunch of idiot bettors out there are betting on the Jazz because they go, oh, the Jazz were just terrible last year, so they're going to be terrible again. The betting public has absolutely no clue. The Jazz could have won 35 games last year. And you want to talk about their hole at center. How many different players started at center last year, Ben? I mean,
Anderson Garcia, Bez Mbang.
Oh,
Started at 5. Cody Williams, I think, started at 5. Yeah. Correct.
I mean, they had to sit Nurk to get his beak surgery on purpose.
Right.
They could have won 35 games last year.
They could have.
They
I'm with you. They
absolutely could have. But they had to bend over backwards to be bad enough to get the pick, et cetera, et cetera. Welcome to the last 4 years of sports talk radio. So the idea that people be like, what do you think? Can they win 36 games? Please.
Sure.
Please. And now I understand the tanking rules.
Some
are
of the
different.
rules have changed.
So some teams are going to be trying harder than others. They're going to get to 35, no problem. No, but barring health. I mean, if the whole team gets hurt, then
Again, not gambling advice.
no,
No, at all.
absolutely not.
Should have done it last year because we said they would absolutely
It was
easily
stupid
slide
last
past
year.
18. But 35 is a different number and it's a different season. But yes, 35 does seem like it's being set by a bunch of people who know nobody knows that the Jazz could have easily won 35 last year. I think you're right.
Have no idea what lengths they went to.
Mm-hmm.
Your average bettor in, I don't know, Muskogee, Oklahoma. Is that a place? Has no idea what lengths the Jazz had to go to lose that many games last year. That was crazy.
I remember listening to the Bill Simmons, Zach Lowe, whatever, some other gambler guy podcast from The Ringer last year, like the month leading up to the season. And they were talking about all the over-unders. And all of them took the under on the Jazz at 18. And I thought, oh, people are taking your advice and then gambling on that based off of your miserable advice.
You have no idea.
You have no idea.
You have
and
no idea.
Zach Lowe, you know more than anyone nationally.
And
Not locally, but nationally. And you thought they would hit the
And
under.
you still have no idea.
You still had no idea. And people are taking that advice to bet. So, yes, that's why they set the number at 35, because they actually know how the national media is going to not know anything, and people will bet based off of that. I'm with you.
What's next?
Number 2, LeWaiting game continues.
Yeah, and we can play some of this sound a little bit later on in the show, but Rich Paul is saying, hey, they're not going to operate on anyone else's timeline but their own. But this is certainly not about attention.
It's only about attention, because it's not about money, because nobody has money for him anymore. So what else does he have? Attention. And that's it. The NBA, you joked about opening the show about we are in the desert of sports across the country. I mean, I watched a little bit of Major League Baseball last night. Golf majors are over. Baseball's not going to get really interesting for another 4 weeks.
At least.
College football will start up then. People will start to pay attention. But the next 3 to 4 weeks of sports is not filled with like natural, obvious, good storylines. You'll start to get a lot of, yes, over-unders, NFL starting conversations, et cetera, et cetera. But right now, it's barren across the country. And LeBron says, oh, allow me to kick my feet up. Fill the space a little bit. Love to be the name everyone's talking about right now. And by the way, ESPN, we were joking about ESPN being on.
Ken is talking all about it.
Well, who is on right now on ESPN that we were watching on NBA Live? Two Lakers reporters. I know technically Ramona's not strictly a Lakers reporter, but she's a Lakers reporter.
She covers the Clippers too, Ben.
But she's an LA-based reporter. McMenamin is on there. They're milking those people, too, for what our next story is going to be, because the second LeBron leaves, as good of a player as Luka is, he is not a draw the same way that LeBron is a draw. These people will not have as much value in 2 weeks when LeBron makes his decision as they do today, so you might as well milk it.
I guess. I don't know. It's annoying to me because LeBron isn't that consequential anymore. And so
LeBron the player is not.
No.
LeBron the personality is.
That's what is annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is all about a kind of washed up player who is addicted to attention.
This is a largely non-needle mover as a player. Learning who has mastered how to generate the most attention possible.
Terrific.
Yeah. But that's what it's going to be about because there is nothing else to talk about. And LeBron says, great. It's good for me.
Next.
Number 3. More layoffs at ESPN.
Yeah, this isn't funny to joke about. But Cam Newton got laid off. That was a little surprising. Cam had kind of spiked and skyrocketed throughout their ranks now, probably because he cost a fortune.
He didn't really play a big role either. From what I understand, he was really only on Stephen A's
doing
show,
Get Up,
right?
and he was doing, some of the NFL coverage. And he was fine. He never thought he was must-watch TV by any means.
I thought he was only doing Stephen A.
Maybe he was only doing Stephen A. But I
And
swear I saw him.
he's a podcast guy, right? That's his main lane. Is he's got a super popular podcast. But Carl Ravitch,
Yeah, Ravitch is gone.
is out. They got rid of an NFL insider. The layoffs hit the NFL Network side. And, of course, everybody gets hung up on the names, but you don't realize that hundreds of production people and, that type of thing are
Web managers, et cetera, et cetera.
all caught up in this sort of thing, too. So, the media landscape, Ben, is changing a lot and has been constantly changing throughout my entire career. I never would have thought radio would have been the most stable, but here we are. Anywho. And I think the mouse is feeling it. I don't know how much Disney really wants to be in the sports game anymore, but yet they're so heavily invested in it and continue to be. It's the programming is what gets the squeeze, or their original programming is what gets the squeeze.
They changed their money-making model. They became we cover sports to we broadcast sports.
Yep.
That's the change in the model, and all of a sudden the margins you make have to change or just naturally change. Yes, the idea of we just cover sports actually isn't ridiculously expensive, which is why all these websites out there exist like On3 or, whatever, 24/7 Sports or whatever, Rivals.com. They're not broadcasting sports. They're not carrying sports. You can make 1 million of those if you want to. It's just needing a couple of people to write, and a lot of people will write just to get their foot in the door and write for pennies. Whatever ads come off your actual article, you might get a couple of bucks for it, but they're happy to do it because that's their foot in the door. Once you get to the point where you're broadcasting the NFL, you have to make billions of dollars because it costs billions of dollars to operate. It's just a different animal.
What was the peak ESPN where they had 6 channels? There's like original programming on them all. ESPN.com was the one website, and it had Page 2 and all that.
Grantland, yeah.
It was a very innovative and at its height. I don't know, like 2010, 2013. And the model changed. And, the subscriber TV model was just a windfall for ESPN.
Yeah, it was.
Just a windfall because you were paying for ESPN whether you knew it or not.
Right. And paying a ton for it.
And paying a ton for
Yeah.
it. And the disruption in that model has been really costly for ESPN in particular because their overhead is crazy high. You know whose overhead probably isn't all that crazy high? Man, pick a random channel like Hallmark. Their overhead is probably nothing. They're like 2 original movies a year that cost $10 each to film.
Right.
And then nothing. You know what I mean? It would cost they're probably doing fine. ESPN costs a fortune to run.
Right.
rights fees aside. I mean, it just costs a fortune to run. And now all of a sudden they don't get automatic payment for it. And their streaming stuff is clunky at best. And they're in this nether region where you can't go entirely online because you're still getting money from the cables and DirecTVs of the world who's saying, hey, our content needs to be exclusive. You can't give it away and repackage it and resell it. And all of a sudden now they're caught in between and the business model needs reinventing.
And some of the people they had that were very good split off, recognizing, hey, I can probably make more money on my own, whether that's Dan Patrick or Keith Olbermann or Bill Simmons or anyone who's left for The Athletic. I mean, these were former people who kind of had to be at ESPN because it was the one national outlet that people paid attention to, and ESPN either got too cheap to keep them or they realized they could make more money elsewhere. Colin Cowherd, I mean, all these people are ESPN alum at some point that have split off.
Well, Olbermann did that and failed a bunch of times. That's
He did.
why he kept going back.
He did.
Cowherd took advantage of a rival who wanted a piece of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
When Fox really wanted to get aggressive and go after what ESPN had, think 2010 or whatever, he zigged when everybody zagged, and he went to Fox. So, yeah, well, we'll see what happens with these big personalities. Good luck. Because the guy they promoted at Disney to be the new chair comes from the park side.
Yeah.
So not the content side.
Yep.
All right, more next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.